In this video, we're going to build the new Injora Rock Tarantula kit for the TRX4M. This is a great new nylon buggy kit from Injora that's going to transform your TRX4M, both aesthetically and from a performance standpoint. We're going to break down the kit, what comes in it, we're going to assemble it together. I got a bunch of other new Injora parts that we're going to put on this, and then we're going to run this thing and see how it does. So let's jump in and check out the kit. So we've got a pile of Injora upgrades going on this thing. Let's go through some of the highlights here. A lot of this is just supporting components. Got links, transmission gears, transmission housing, drive shaft. Pro motor is going to go in this. 59mm shocks. Hexes. Let's see, that's part of the kit I'm going to talk about. Skid plate. We got some nice new black deep dish wheels for this. It's going to be awesome. Let's look at the kit itself. Since most of the other things are just kind of ancillary components, let's focus on the Tarantula kit itself here. So I got the orange kit here. I also got black panels and I got clear panels that I can paint any color that we want. So comment down below, what should I paint this thing? We'll have a third color option for this. Those are extra panel options. We're gonna just do the orange for this video. So why don't we open this up, take a look at the chassis kit here. It's big, it's bigger than I thought it would be. The rails are long. You can see that. Yes, that nice bright orange panels. I like it. They've given us instructions, which I greatly appreciate. Looks like a pretty simple install though. Hardware. Velcro for our electronics. Light bar. I dig that it comes with a light bar. Very cool. So the kit's going to kind of go together around the skid. You're going to use your existing skid plate, which is why I got an extra. So you're going to pop it together like that. And these components here in the bag behind the chassis here are going to hold it together. And then we're going to throw the panels on. And it should come together pretty easy. So first thing I'm going to do is assemble the chassis here. And then I'm going to start building the rest of the rig. I've got to assemble axles, transmission, put the motor on, things like that. But let's build the tub first, and then we'll get into that stuff. Okay, let's do this together. Directions. All right, I'm going to start back to front. So I'm going to do this kind of L-shaped piece here. It's going to go right in the back. All right, with that piece on, I think the next component is this kind of longer cross brace here. Looks like that goes right in the middle. We're working our way to the front. Next we're going to take our kind of front component here. This has our front shock mounts on it. Just want to make sure the open part goes to the front and the mounts hang down from the chassis. Next we have our little bumper pieces. Now for the front, those looks like a fair lead is going to go on the bottom. It's like this right here. Okay, and the last component in the front here is this extra little cross brace. This goes in the front with the tubular side, the smooth side on the front. So these flat brackets are going to go in the back, towards the back. So there's half of it. I'm going to do the roof as well. So now that we've got half of it built, now we're just going to slap it on the other side. Together just like this. We just squeeze it together, mount up the other side, and then the huge chunk of it will be done. Now look at that. There's our tub right there. That was slick. No problem to put that together. So the next step is going to be to put the skid plate in the bottom here. A good start right there. So our pretty much fully assembled tub. Panels will go on. ESC goes in the back. We'll put the Velcro right there to put the ESC in there. But in any case, we're cooking right along, so I'm going to get to assembling the other components of the build, and then we'll put it all in the chassis here to finish it off. Working my way through the Tarantula build, I'm installing the ancillary components, putting my wheels and tires together. Speaking of tires, Check out these new Injora Swamp Claw tires. Just got these in the mail today. These are an awesome tires, 64 by 25 millimeter, big, aggressive, soft. These are Injora's version of the fabled McClaw tires. If you're not familiar with the McClaw tires, these were a legendary 1-inch tire that has been extinct for a little while and are on the black market. Some people have hoarded a bunch of them and are selling them as much as $100 a pair. But now Injora has come out with their own version of the McClaws, the Swamp Claws, and that's what we're putting on the Tarantula build. So these are going to be exciting to run. I got one tire and wheel combo left, and then we'll move on to the other components. Okay, we're in day 3 of this project and we're going to wrap this thing up today. What we've got left to do is just finish out our drivetrain. So I'm going to assemble my transmission. I got the aluminum transmission housing with the steel crawler ratio gears. I've got the Pro motor we're going to put on there. I'm going to crack these axles open and I'm going to do a different gear ratio in here. For the front, I'm going to do the Injora overdrive gears. This is a 9% overdrive gear in the front. In the back, I'm going to underdrive it. This is around 17% underdrive, so it's going to give me a total overdrive in the front of about 26%. Plus, it's going to give me these really nice steel differential gears, which are super high quality and fit and work excellent. So this is going to go in our axles, steel drive shafts. I'm also going to reopen my wheels. I'm just not getting the conformity out of these tires that I want, so I'm going to break these down. I'm going to vent my wheels so that I get better squish out of these tires. I really want to maximize these tires because they look and feel amazing, so I want to make sure that they're performing to the best of their ability. So that's on the list for today. We're going to get into this right now. So here we are, pretty much done with the drivetrain. We've got the overdrive and underdrive gears in the rear. I just put the transmission together with these steel gears. I've got them all greased up with my udder butter here. Steel drive shafts. So this is a very fortified, very strong drivetrain in this thing. It's going to be ready for whatever we throw at it. So now I'm just going to button up the transmission, make sure that's nice and smooth, and then we're going to drop all of this into the chassis and get this thing up and going. Okay, my friends, here it is, just taking a break before I put the final paneling on, but this is the chassis all put together. Drivetrain fully installed, tires and wheels, everything is ready to go. Very cool kit, looks pretty awesome even without panels on it. Went together really simple. Took me a little while only because I went back through and fortified some of the drivetrain. I could have easily done this much faster, but I always live by the mantra, if it could be better, it's as good as broken. So I went back through and did the overdrive gears, vented the wheels, all those type of small things that you do it once and then you don't have to worry about it again. And it'll make a big difference in the end. Some things to note while installing this. When you put the shocks on, use the shock spacers that come with the kit, not with the shocks. You want to make sure that you bump these out away from the chassis so you've got no binding and you've got plenty of room. One thing to note also, when you put your battery tray in here, you reuse your stock battery tray, there is no way to strap it once it is secured. So what I did was put the battery in, strapped it, then secured my skid plate. Once it's in here, it's not going to come out very easy. So you're probably just going to have to leave your battery in and charge it with the battery in the rig. But overall, really impressed with the kit. It looks and feels fantastic. I am noticing just right off the bat with these big 64mm tires, I'm getting a little bit of rub on the chassis there at full steer. That servo, it's going to be a little tight in there with the hood on it, but there's plenty of room inside the chassis for the servo to articulate. Let's put the panels on it and see how this thing looks all together. So panels going on in 3, 2, 1. There it is. Oh yeah, I like the orange and the black. Man, this thing looks so good. Panels went on super easy. The whole quality of this kit is fantastic. For what you get, so much value here. Injora is just putting out amazing products for the money. I love it. So this is just another great example of a fun and easy chassis kit for very little money. So I commend them for what they're doing over there. This thing is really, really cool. It's got like a desert racing buggy look to it. I'm interested to see kind of what the weight distribution is and how it will crawl. We'll do some performance tests in a minute, but just want to take a look at this thing all assembled. Put my ESC tray in the back. What I've been doing is just recycling my ESC from Creamsicle. I got the Velcro on it, so just swap it back and forth. No interference with the servo in there. It seems to work really well. It is hitting the hood a little bit, but right where my shocks bottom out, maybe 1mm worth of clearance sacrificed for this setup. Looking like you could get a transverse servo mount in there, I bet, if you wanted a lay down servo, but I'm happy with how it is for right now. Just looks great. So why don't we get this on the setup table and just kind of see what our measurements are from a performance standpoint, and then we'll hit the course with it and see how it runs in the real world. All right, first up, let's try the RTI here. Ramp Travel Index. We'll test the articulation on this thing. It's got the 59mm shock, so I think it should do pretty good. I'd call it about 18.5 on the RTI. Now let's test our side hill. This has brass, lots of brass on it. I did basically a full Injora build on this. Lots of brass down low, so let's see how planted it is. 45, 50, 53 on the side hill, not bad at all. Now let's try our vertical. Boy, this thing feels heavy. I'm gonna do the scales in a minute, but solid. 40, 45, 50, 55. Starting to unload a little bit. 59, 60. Oh, we fell off the table at 60. See if I can reposition it here. Man, 62 I'd say on the vertical. Pretty impressive. On the Power Hobby 4-corner scales, let's see how we do. So we are 573, call it 574 grams total weight, 55 front, 45 rear. Not bad at all. Tarantula build on the course. So after some very surprisingly good results on the setup table, let's hit the course with this thing before we take it out on the rocks. How good does this thing look? Wow, those tires, the wheels, the orange and black, man, this thing is cool looking. Big tires getting me over Articulation Alley, no problem. Chassis seems to be working really well. There's a little bit of binding there in the front. I'm gonna have to tune my endpoints there if I can. That was impressive. You know, that section right there trips up a lot of rigs. This thing was able to navigate that pretty easily, make a good climb up the canyon. Big tires are doing good. Good sidewall support there. Even though I vented the wheels, they still don't squish as much as I would like, but I'm happy with them. Good descent there. It was pretty planted that whole time. I hit the escalator. I went to bump it. I should have committed. There we go. That Injora Pro motor's got plenty of juice, even with the crawler gears. A little bit of understeer there. Still nice and planted. Make a good line up the escalator. Let's see how it does on the side hill. Not a lot of body roll there from the tires. Seems pretty planted. That's about a 36-degree incline. That's good. Now Hell's Gate. I'm impressed with this thing so far. Wow, nice clean run up Hell's Gate. Pretty impressive. Try the chute here. I thought I saw some torque twist on the escalator. Maybe it was just the obstacle itself. I guess it seems pretty planted there, I guess. I'm impressed with the Tarantula build. I really didn't expect it to crawl that great just because of what it is, but this is exceeding my expectations by far. Now, granted, I do have a lot of modifications done to the drivetrain here with the axles and the brass links and everything, so it's certainly not a stock rig that we built this with, but man, this thing is impressive. One more line and then we'll take it outside. Struggling a little bit there. We got some understeer. Oh, we hooked up and gone. And very good. So there's that twist I was talking about. So I'm getting a little bit of chassis twist. See if I can sort that out with some preload adjustment. Shocks might just need to work in also. But let's get this thing outside and see how it can do in the rocks. Out here with the rock tarantula on the backyard course. Let's check it out. Looks amazing. Moving the course at its will. Thing looks so, the tires on this look so gnarly. I love how this all came together. We'll complete a loop here on the course and then we'll hit some freestyle lines. The front seems to not bottom out, but I wish I had a little more of an aggressive approach and departure angle. I find myself getting caught up on that bumper in the front. Overall, good run though. Come back the other way. Nice, managed to stick that line. Tricky off-camber section up there, very planted. It's impressive. I like it. Just have some fun, hit some of my typical challenge lines here. Nice. Tires hook up really good. Oh, jeez, that was aggressive. So those things hook up, the thing is gone. Man, this thing is impressive. Probably my favorite chassis kit for the TRX4M, I think. It's just crushing everything. I'm gonna have to get some more challenging lines out here. So good. All right, guys, I'm having a blast out here. I could stay out here all day, but I'm gonna wrap this up, go hit the bench, and give you guys my final thoughts. Let's talk about the Rock Tarantula kit. I am pleasantly surprised by this kit. It far away exceeded my expectations. I'd built the SCX24 buggy kit from Injora and really liked that build. I think I like the TRX4M one even more, and I would go as far as to say that this is my favorite TRX4M kit that I've put together. The fit and finish is excellent, it's really easy to put together, it looks fantastic, and it performs excellent. So at $34, I think this is bargain performance and bargain fun. Granted, I do have a lot of upgrades that went in on mine. There's a lot of brass throughout, so it's got a lot of weight down low, super planted. I did the long travel shocks. So this thing is pretty built right from the get. But even going from a stock TRX4M to this chassis kit, I think you're going to see a big difference because you're going to save a lot of weight up top and you're going to bring a lot of that down. Plus, it just looks so cool. Very minor gripes about this thing. I mentioned the battery strap. Injora does acknowledge this on their website, and they recommend that you can use some of the extra Velcro adhesive that comes with it. Just stick some of it on your battery and some of it on the tray, and then you can stick it on there. I plan to just leave it in the tray fastened and just charge it with the lead hanging out. Some aftermarket servos will experience clearance issues with the hood. You can run spacers in the hood to bump it up a little bit so you don't run into clearance issues. I will add that Injora is also working on a V2 hood right now that will clear aftermarket servos. But all in all, I think this is a great kit. I had a blast putting it together, so much fun driving it, and I can't wait to go hit the rocks with it again. I'll put the parts list in the description down below for all the components that I used to build this exact one. And remember, you can save 5% on all things Injora on their website using my discount code below too. But what do you guys think about the chassis kit? Let me know in the comments, what do you think of the Rock Tarantula? And as always, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I will see you in the next video.